Working Fans Podcast. Cool.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Coming down 3, 2.
Welcome back for another week of the Working Fans Podcast. This is AJ. I'm the former wrestler. We've got Dave, the ultimate fan, here with us as we do every week. Our producer Joe likes to make us sound good and makes us look way more professional than we actually are. As always, you can find us on Twitter, that's @FansWorking, Facebook, Working Fans Pod. We've got email where you can reach out to us and please contact us to let us know what you think of the podcast and for any ideas that you might have. That's workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. We're on Instagram where you can keep up with us at workingfanswrestling_pod. And then you can now listen to us on all major platforms, including Anchor.fm. We're on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, and you can actually check us out on YouTube. Now, it's important when you go onto the Apple Podcasts and YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a rating, let us know what you think so you can help us out and we can continue to do what we love and bring you guys in as fans.
Consumers, this is Richard Holliday, the most marketable man in wrestling and the AirPod God. And you are listening to the Consumers Working Podcast. Just kidding. It's the Working Fans Podcast.
Welcome to the Working Fans Podcast. This is Dave. I'm here with producer Joe. And today we have, some would call him the AirPod God, one of the best wrestlers going out there right now, the most marketable man, Richard Holliday. Richard, thank you for not making us go through your father/lawyer for this interview. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I try not to, I don't put too much on his desk. You know, I ask a lot of my lawyer/my father, and I figured I could handle this one.
Awesome, man. You can correct me on this if I'm wrong. You broke into business around 2015?
Yeah, 2015 sounds accurate. I was trained by Pretty Paul Roma.
Awesome. How was that? How was working with Paul and just kind of breaking in?
I mean, it was excellent. I mean, I truly enjoyed my training with Roma. He's one of the guys that I feel is one of the better trainers in the world to kind of get you going. You know, there's a lot of great schools out there, and I don't really take credit away from other schools, but I know what Paul has done for me and the success that I've had because of it. So obviously I credit a lot of my success to Roma in Paradise Island Professional Wrestling.
Was there any particular advice that he ever gave you that maybe still sticks with you today?
Absolutely. He told me to be true to myself and do what I do best. And I don't try to be anything other than what I am. And that's the best advice that he could have possibly given me because, you know, Paul was who he was and he stuck to that. And that's what I try to do as well, is just to stick to what I do. There's so many different things out there, and people try to get noticed by doing this and think that they're going to, you know, become a sensation by doing this. But I'm more of a stay the course, understand what I am, longevity kind of guy, and it's working out for me so far.
And it's funny because sometimes, like, advice like that can be so simple, but then when you're out there doing it, you realize that in life, being yourself is often the best way to go, and you come off more authentic that way.
Without a doubt. I mean, so many people just want to do, you know, things that are out of their realm or things that they're not going to exceed in. And, you know, I'm in this business to be successful, and I know where my bread's buttered, and I know where I'm tailored to be. So I stick to that. And that's the best advice. If I'm going to give advice to anybody, it'd be that. You know, don't try and be anything than what you're not. And that goes for people who are, you know, who are getting into the business that maybe shouldn't get into it. You know, I mean, it's not for everybody. This isn't just something that anybody can just waltz into, in my opinion, at least.
Besides Paul, has there anybody else who's maybe helped you along the way right now?
Yeah, I mean, Court Bauer is somebody who's helped me a great deal ever since my time in MLW, and that's continuing. And there's been people along the way. Mario Mancini was one of my trainers as well. He's actually the first person to ever teach me anything about wrestling. So I have to give a lot of credit to him. Early on in my career, a gentleman by the name of Paul Perez and Steve Tracy, Steve Tracy owns Paradise Island Professional Wrestling. So, you know, he was very instrumental in the beginning. And I mean, those four in the very beginning, Paul, Roma, Paul Perez, Mario Mancini, and Steve Tracy, I give a lot of credit to those four. And then at this half of my career, it's, you know, someone like Court who was giving me a lot of guidance.
I've seen you in MLW. Actually, we're from the Northeast. We're from Connecticut too. And one of the first promotions I saw you in was XWA in Rhode Island. I believe Eric Bischoff was the general manager for the night. And I've got a chance to see you on Beyond Wrestling as well. You were doing some wrestling and commentary for them. What are some of the other promotions? Is there anything else maybe I missed, some of the other stuff you've worked around here?
Well, in the New England area, a couple of the promotions that I, more or less cut my teeth in would be Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling in Connecticut, XWA in Rhode Island, Top Rope Promotions in Massachusetts. And then, as you get further into business, then you start to work in different places and other places. It's not that you leave them behind or that you advance from them. It's just that maybe your time there has passed. And Chaotic Wrestling is a mainstay in New England. And there's been others that have popped up or maybe not have lasted as long, but Beyond Wrestling obviously has a very prominent role not only in the Northeast but in the country. There's a lot, man. I mean, New England wrestling is hot. There's so many different avenues that you can become successful and get your name out there within New England.
Absolutely. And, now you've transitioned to MLW and you're doing great in there. How did that come about? How did you link up to MLW?
Well, they, had their, inaugural show down in Orlando in, I don't know if it was late or early 2018. They came back, right? And they were mainly an Orlando promotion. And I had some talks with them while they were still based out of Orlando. And then they said, hey, we're actually coming to New York. That might be a better opportunity for us to link up. So they came to New York, to Melrose Ballroom in Queens. And, I went there thinking that I was just originally going to be a part of the Battle Riot, which is a mainstay match within MLW. It's kind of like MLW's version of the Royal Rumble, if you want to put it that way. I thought I was just going to be part of that, which I was not happy with, but I was content with it. It was an opportunity to be seen on national television by a major company. And then it must have just been something about the way that I presented myself to them. I ended up having a match against Fred Yehai in the opening match, which eventually didn't make TV. So my singles debut was actually against Fred Yehai in July of, I want to say, maybe 2018. Yes, I believe so. If my timeline's correct, honestly, I can't even remember. And then they brought me back. When they came back to New York in October of that year, and I faced Joey Riot. And then a couple weeks after that, they offered me a contract. And I signed with them because I felt like that was the best place for me to become the best version of myself and to prosper. And I couldn't be happier with my decision.
I was actually at Battle Riot too, and I was in that front row area where they sat you guys when they had the attack with Teddy Hart. And it was just cool to see a guy that we had seen on XWA and Beyond finally get this major role with the faction. And you guys have been on fire with the Dynasty, especially the vignettes you've done with the lifestyles of the rich and dynastic.
Yeah, I might be biased here, gentlemen. I might be a little bit biased, but are those not the best segments on television currently?
Man, they are pretty good. I got to give you guys credit. I laugh out loud. I love them. They're awesome.
I didn't expect the gift train to pop me like it would. Train. I'll be sitting at work just thinking, chugga, 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 chugga. And it's some of the best entertainment out there.
It really is, yeah.
And things just happen so organically when all three of us are together. I think originally, on paper, people might have been like, I don't know how these three are going to really coexist together. Three alpha males, three big egos. How are they possibly going to coexist? It's going to be oil and water. And I think we just completely, put a fire extinguisher onto those criticisms, those, premeditated criticisms of thinking that it's going to be like that. And it's just not. It's just the best chemistry that I've had in wrestling personally. And I think Max and Hammer kind of feel the same way. It's when we're all together, it's just like everything clicks.
It's funny, man, when I first started watching you guys, I thought you and Max clicked really good right away. But then I thought Hammerstone was going to eventually probably part from you guys. Like, he had almost a different demeanor. but it's like almost you guys have evolved, like in like everything you do, you seem closer, and it kind of comes off like on the skits, I think, a little bit better too, because especially Hammerstone seems like he's added some comedic stuff to his character too, which has really been like it's stole the show a few times in some of that stuff.
Yeah, Hammer's just incredible. I mean, talk about a guy who's just the complete total package. I mean, for a guy like him, who's one of the best wrestlers in the world, who looks the way that he does, and for him to be able to get on screen and still make you laugh, wow, you know, what a testament to the performer that he is and the professional that he is. I can't say enough good things about him. But I think all of us just came together and we're just like, we're going to make this work. We're going to make this the best thing on TV, and nobody's going to be able to touch us. And I think when the Dynasty is on TV, people listen, and they make sure to watch, and they go out of their way to watch Dynasty segments. When we're in the ring, they go out of their way to watch the Dynasty matches. And it's continuing to grow. We're still adding layers. We're still, peeling back the onion. I can't say enough things about the Dynasty.
Yeah, MJF, he's obviously doing double duty right now with AEW and MLW. Is that factor into any like programs or how you guys work things? Is it great? Is it just kind of there, or does it play a part at all?
Well, Max is one of the best performers in the world today, and he can handle that burden. I can't even say burden. He can handle that responsibility of being on Major League Wrestling and being in AEW. And I always say this: he's excellent at I'm very big on the phrase "being where your feet are." And what that means is being fully invested into where you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he has a really great ability to be where his feet are. When he's with MLW, he's fully focused on that. And he does his absolute best in the confines of MLW. And then he goes to AEW, and he does just as well. So, he's a total package. And that's why he's in the position that he's in.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, too, because, he's definitely not phoning in anything anywhere he goes. You guys are on top of it. You just had the MLW pay-per-view a couple weekends ago, Super Fight. How exciting was that? You're working with, second-generation wrestlers with the Von Erichs, MLW's first pay-per-view, third-generation with Von Erichs, excuse me. How was that? That must have been very exciting.
Well, think about this for a second. This was MLW's first pay-per-view. And who were the first people that you see? The first people that you see on MLW pay-per-view is Max and myself. That's it. You can never, ever take that away from us. Win, lose, or draw, we were the first. We opened up that pay-per-view. We were the first people that you saw. And that was the test of time. And I think that was done for a reason. And then in terms of the match, it's always interesting to get in there with these second and third generation guys. But I always say, look at what the Dynasty is doing. We're all first generation guys. There's no other Hollidays. There's no other MJFs. There's no other Hammerstones. Nope. We did this all on our own. And I'm not saying that these guys got in the position because of their fathers. I'm not. All I'm saying is that we're first generation guys. And we're in the spots that we are. And I don't know. To me, that just seems a bit more impressive.
And MLW has been almost a company of factions in which the Dynasty is quickly moved to the top.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's Time for Unit, there's Injustice. There might be another one that I'm forgetting about. God, it seems like Tom Lawler and the Von Erichs are their own little faction at this point.
Yeah, the Hearts, too. Did we say that, too? The Hearts?
No.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up, they've had a good run against the Hearts.
Yeah.
I tried to erase them from my mind, to be honest with you. 7 months of the Horror Foundation is more than I can handle. It's MLW is kind of predicated on that, and, we do a lot of good business that way. I don't even know if that was done by design, but it just kind of happened that way. I'd like to think it was organically done that way.
Yeah, you got a real interesting mix in that company between shooters, between luchadors, between, the family names. And then you guys, just like I said, are kind of to me, the classic arrogant heels kind of right at the top of it all.
Well, that's why the show is called Fusion, because it's a fusion of so many different styles. So you can come into MLW and really not know what to expect, especially if you attend us live, Because think about it, going from the dynamic that is the dynasty and what we bring to the table, and then the next match could be, two of the best luchadors in the world. Then the next match can be, Timothy Thatcher and Davey Boy Smith. And it's just a complete fusion of all these different styles that wrestling fans and consumers are gravitating towards. Because they want all of these different styles, and maybe one company only gives them this, and another company only gives them that.
Absolutely. Give them a buffet, I think I heard someone say before. Besides Court Bauer, is there anybody else behind the scenes at MLW that you've noticed that works really hard and is maybe influential that we don't see?
Oh, man, I mean, the whole team is just absolutely, incredible. I mean, Alex Greenfield was there for a while, and he was really a tremendous asset. And then Sean O'Hare backstage is phenomenal. Savio Vega, you can't say enough good things about him. And then the whole locker room pushes each other to be better. Everybody in that locker room wants to be the guy. They want to have that top spot. They want to have the gold. It's just an environment of winners and an environment of people who are striving to be successful. And that breeds success, and that makes other people want to be better. Because you know what? I go out there, and when I have the microphone in my hand, I honestly dare somebody to be better on the microphone than me. Go ahead. Try your absolute hardest. And if you are, then kudos to you. And I think other people, they go in there and they want to have the best match of the night. And it's like, follow that. And it just seems like that's kind of the environment that everybody has, or that we have been accustomed to at MLW. But the whole team at MLW is just top to bottom world class.
Well, it's funny listening to you. I can tell you're obviously a very competitive person. That's awesome. Do you have a background in sports or anything prior to wrestling?
Yeah, I played college football. I played at the University of New Haven, which was a Division II school. We were actually top 5 in the country in Division II when I played there, at least. Yeah, so I played football my entire life. I played sports my entire life, but football was my bread and butter. And then I kind of just stopped after my sophomore year. I was like, you know what? Football's not for me. I need to transition into pro wrestling. So that's around that time in my life is when I made the transition.
We usually kick this interview off. I never even asked you. So you were obviously into wrestling for a while. What was your first memories? What got you really interested in wrestling?
First memories would have to be going to the old New Haven Coliseum. If you guys are from Connecticut, you guys must know that, or at least have been to that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so going to the old Coliseum with my father, and I mean, the classic thing, I went to the arena with my father, and I saw it, and I wanted to do it, If there's not one wrestler out there who hasn't had that story, I'd be super surprised. But I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the first ever SmackDown was at New Haven.
Yeah, and, I think you're right.
It was. So maybe that might have been one of my first memories. That was like 1998 or 9. I don't even remember when it was. I obviously had been into wrestling maybe a little bit before that, but my memories are shot. I would say that's my earliest memories, watching Monday Night Raw. My brother was super into it. My father, we'd all watch it together. So, but, very basic answers to those questions, the early memories for that.
Who were some of your early favorite wrestlers that you saw?
You'd probably be very surprised because it has zero impact on how I perform in the ring today. But my 2 favorite wrestlers growing up were Kane and The Undertaker.
Okay. Oh.
I was always drawn to more of the storytelling elements of professional wrestling, more so than the wrestling aspect of it. And nobody did it better than Kane and The Undertaker. It was just an unbelievable story. And I kind of use the word unbelievable like in its literal sense.
Right.
And they still made it the best thing on TV. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like those two were just incredible. Everybody growing up, Rock walks in, things like that. But for me, it was always Kane and The Undertaker.
Talking to you, you definitely sound very intelligent. And from what I've saw, you got a bachelor's degree in marketing from the University of New Haven. I was wondering what advice you could give an up-and-coming podcast that's learning to market ourselves.
Interesting question. I do have a bachelor's degree in marketing. And I would say that the best thing to do is content that is relatable is the best way to get any consumer or any way to transition a fan into a consumer. I always say that, fans are just consumers who haven't paid money yet or paid attention yet. Because I can be a fan of something right? I can be a fan of the New York Giants, but until I actually go to a game and pay money for a ticket, I'm not a consumer of the New York Giants. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Makes a lot of sense, yeah.
So if somebody can say, "Oh yeah, I like pro wrestling. Have you ever been to a show?" No. Okay, then you're just a fan. You're not a consumer. I need to make you a consumer, right? So consumers are people who put money into the market, but that's a different story. I would say in terms of a podcast, it would be on all social media platforms and release content that is relatable to the consumers and the demographics that you want to draw in. There's 1,000,005 podcasts out there. You need to be the one that people want to listen to. Have good guests on, like myself. I think that is a good start. Maybe reach out to Hammerstone or Max. Just get the whole dynasty on there. That would be an excellent way to get your podcast off the ground.
Ooh, those would definitely be dream guests. I'm almost a little scared to contact Max myself because I feel like he would just cut a promo on us for the whole time, which would still be amazing.
He more than likely would. Max is that kind of guy.
You're having a hell of a career. Things are going great. Thanksgiving's around the corner. We're doing kind of a little holiday theme here. Is there anything you're thankful for you want to talk about?
What am I thankful for? I am thankful for MLW for giving me the platform to tell all of the consumers throughout the world why I am the most marketable man in wrestling, the consumer's champion, the AirPod God, and a promoter's best friend. I'm thankful for my background in marketing for allowing me to understand this business and kind of look at it from a more articulate way, in a more precise way. And I'm thankful for my dynasty bros, Hammerstone and Max, because they're my best buds in the business, and I love them.
Awesome, man. Is there anything you want to promote before we head out?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a New England guy, Resolution 19 is this Sunday for XWA. They always put on a world-class show every single year. Breaking Point for Chaotic is this Friday night, going one-on-one with Chase Del Monte. And, of course, December 5th, MLW TV tapings at the Melrose Ballroom in Queens, New York. That is going to be an incredible show. And, of course, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Most Marketable.
All right, Richard, thank you so much, man.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right, so that wraps us up for this week. Thank you again for listening to the Working Fans Podcast. So as always, you can find us on Twitter at FansWorking. Our Facebook page is Working Fans Wrestling Pod. We have email where you can reach out to us and let us know what you think also. That's workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, workingfanswrestling_pod. And then as always, please continue to listen to us on Anchor.fm, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, all your major platforms. If you're following us on Apple Podcasts, which we are also on now, and YouTube, please make sure you subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. It helps us bring you these podcasts where we get to talk to you and talk with you every week.